You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Total Divas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Total Divas After Show.
What's up, and welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Total Divas After Show. We are doing Season 2, Episode 2, the Braniel Bus, and I am Kaori Takee here with a full crew.
Yeah!
I've got Christian Rosenberg across the way.
Hello, my dear. How are you?
I'm very, very happy. And
Excellent.
who's next to you?
Oh, well, right over here is Miss Charlotte Broadbent.
Yay, I'm back. Woo!
It's good to see you.
I missed last week. I'm
You
sorry.
did. We
but
missed you.
I'm glad I'm back. Thanks for the shout out, by the way.
Oh, that's what we do.
I watched you guys.
Yeah, and brand new to our show
Yes,
as well.
Danielle Pascente?
Yes,
Yay!
Danielle Pascente.
I've got it right. Pascente.
Thanks for letting me join the team.
Oh,
Welcome.
We're very excited to have you. So now we can
Well,
talk.
you're our Summer Ray.
Oh,
No,
I don't know if I should be like happy about
because
that.
I'm not fond about Summer Ray.
Okay, you did this to me last season. You
What'd
said
what'd
you're
I
our
do?
Eva Marie.
Right. And so
the
now she's
newbie
our
is the
Summer
new-
Ray.
And lately,
Way to charm the women, Christian.
I'm just Natty. I'll just be Natty. I'll just complain and
I
whine
like
about
that
everything.
comparison.
Thank you. Thank you.
then we have to be in a fight all the time if I'm Summer Ray.
Bring it.
Okay,
All right.
it's on.
Before we get into the show, overall thoughts.
I like this season. I like the Summer Ray edition.
Okay.
I don't know if I like her, but I like the edition.
Okay.
A lot of interesting.
Silence.
No, well, like I was saying, I literally just said this before we went on the air. How it is interesting, and I kind of touched on this last season. How the stories that we're watching, as far as WWE watching wise, happened like 4 to 6 months ago. So it's interesting, kind of seeing like this side of it, because I remember. Well, actually, we'll be getting into it. Watching the Monday Night Raw when Nikki got kicked in the face, and watching it here in the studio, we're all like, okay, she like broke her nose or something happened. Now we know the story of what happened.
Yeah.
Which is kind of,
So you didn't know at the time?
Did not know I knew she got hurt, but I didn't know exactly what happened. Yeah.
How about you, Danielle?
Yeah.
Overall thoughts.
I think it's good this season. It's juicy. The addition of Summer Ray has been nothing short of awesome for the show because it brings so much drama. So
Yeah,
I'm into it.
I agree. Summer Ray definitely adds that drama, especially for Natty. Sorry, JoJo, but best of luck to you.
She's training in NXT. She's busy just focusing on wrestling, not on the reality show.
She'll get back here.
She's busy doing what she wants to do.
Exactly.
Sports-wise.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe Eva Marie doesn't want to focus as much on the wrestling side. Maybe she
But
likes
she's
the...
getting a lot of wrestling viewership, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off because the episode starts off where we ended last week. Nikki and John are at the pier, and John says how much he missed her, how much he realizes that his life was better with her. She did so much. She sacrificed moving from San Diego to uproot herself and go to Florida to be with him. And he can't promise her marriage and children. He realized that he really wants to kind of work things out with her.
Yeah.
She takes him back.
Of course.
I was in complete shock that happened. I figured the season was ending 5 minutes into episode 2.
So we get our happy, crazy Nikki back in one episode.
Okay, though, but I was happy that he addressed that she sacrifices everything. Because I got tweeted last week after the episode and asked, do you think that they're good together? And I said, I think that John needs to recognize that Nikki sacrifices everything
So much.
in the
Sure.
relationship.
Yeah.
And John doesn't sacrifice anything. But he recognized that. He said, I'm a weird person, but I'm in love with you. I don't really know what that means, but... he recognizes
Most people in the
that-
wrestling business tend to be weird.
He recognizes, though, I guess, that he's not perfect in this relationship at all, and he's open to them.
I'm shocked he didn't propose. I really
Really?
thought
Really?
for a
What?
second
No.
maybe he was gonna do
We're
it.
not going to do that until the finale,
Just
if
for a
at
second.
all.
I don't even think that's gonna
I
happen.
know it's not going to happen
No.
because I've seen his background and the ridiculous divorce that he went through a few years ago. That was that destroyed him on TMZ and everything.
Well, the thing is, she mentions that he didn't shut out the idea of marriage,
Right.
so that makes her say it's okay. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't think his idea is going to change on that.
He said, we can talk about it later.
Yeah,
Let's just sweep
exactly.
that under the rug
I
right
didn't
now.
like how he said that either. I was like, she comes all the way out there.
Well,
Yeah.
Talk about
We'll
it.
we'll get back to that once we're super happy and in love again. All right, then I'll tell you that it's not going to happen.
Well,
Seriously. I'm going to butter you up so we're back together, and then when you bring it up next time, it's
When
gonna
you
be,
move back
no.
in, then I'll remind you again that we're not going to get back.
But I think she knows deep down it's never going to happen, and she either needs to. She said, "I'm going to follow my heart, not my brain."
yes.
Which I mean, are you? It's up to her, I guess.
It's hard.
Yeah,
There's
it
gotta
is
be
a tough
balance.
one. Yeah, it's a
I
tough
feel
one.
like part of her at some point will sacrifice marriage and kids if she's that in love with him. I mean,
I think that if he provides her a commitment that he's going to be 100% with her till death do they part,
Right.
even if there's no ring, she might stick with him.
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't, because marriage is just really a piece of paper, but kids is like the main thing, I feel, you know? If you really want kids and the person you're with really doesn't want them, then that sucks.
And she just turned 30, so it's like it's time for her to start
Yeah.
really
Time.
thinking about that
Yeah.
too. And Christian's like, what?
She's like, girls are crazy.
No, I get it. Now I'm in a room with 3 women, and this is what I'm
Lucky
gonna.
you.
I know. The male viewers watching this feel so bad for me
I don't think they feel
that I
that.
have to be in
I
this
think
room
so.
with these 3 beautiful women. I'm taking one for the team, guys. I really am.
So Nikki and John, they're back together, and Nikki starts riding on a bus, no pun intended, on John Cena's bus.
No, I think there was
Again,
definitely
no
a
pun
pun.
intended.
There was definitely a pun intended there.
It's a very, very nice bus. It's luxurious. It looks better than my apartment does.
Looks better than mansions do.
Seriously. It's huge.
I mean, how many drivers does this bus need? How many lanes does it take? It's huge.
Yeah, and there are a few wrestlers that actually have, based on their tenure in the company or based on how much money they bring in, have these buses in their contracts. Cena has it. The Big Show, who is like the 7-foot, 450-pound wrestler that's been around forever, has it in his contract.
Does
And
Daniel Bryan not?
Daniel Bryan, I think, might be getting to the point where they might add it because now he's become like the top guy in the amount of money he's bringing in. But there are a bunch of guys for a long time like they wouldn't have it, and kind of hope they become real good friends with the guys that do have it. Like the wrestler CM Punk, who's no longer with the WWE. He had a bus, and his best friend is a wrestler out there named Kofi Kingston, who a lot of times would then get to ride with CM Punk on his bus, and because it helps the knees so much in their profession, obviously running around doing all the things, when they need to be stretching and relaxing, there are 4 guys crammed in like a Corolla driving 6 hours.
Yeah.
And so only the elite ones that have the money can do this, because then, hey, if we're the top guys, this is going to allow us be the top guys for a few more years.
Yeah. Their travel schedule's grueling. So just to have that option of being on the bus, sleeping, stretching, whatever they're doing, I mean, it's a good option to have. So.
And Nikki being John's girlfriend again, she gets to ride on that bus again. And
I think that's why she took it back.
Right.
no. I mean, among other things,
She knew about the bus.
I mean, he has a lot of luxuries that any woman would enjoy on the side.
Along with, the bus, I was meaning in my head, but the bus has a mirror on the top of the bedroom.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
on
the
the
mirror.
ceiling.
Which would be
TMI.
yeah, TMI.
TMI.
She tends to do that. She's talking about vagina.
100%. That's like her
Hey, mirrors don't hold
personality.
secrets, okay? They don't have the capacity of doing that.
But this gives Nikki shows Brie, her sister, the bus, and it gives her inspiration to get another bus with Bryan and the Divas all together.
Well, yeah, wants to convince Bryan, because now that he's making the money, hey, maybe you should get a bus.
But he doesn't want to spend the money on that. He wants to
No,
split
'cause
it
he's
with
a
everybody.
hippie.
Sure.
This made me realize how big the buses are. The fact that John Cena is just like chilling by himself.
By himself? Yeah.
And how many people are on the other one? Like 10?
I know.
At least.
That's-
Yeah.
And they seem...
And it's not as big as John's.
It's
And
not.
did they all have little compartments where they slept in? Because you see them walking back and they're getting...
It's like, have you ever seen, bands tour buses? Like big time bands have tour buses, which are very similar to that. They're kind of like bunk beds, but they're a
That's what I
lot
was
more
thinking.
comfortable.
Yeah.
It just felt really small. Well, that's because
for
we just
10
saw
people in
John
there.
Cena's bus.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's be fair.
But for 4 to 6 hours, even to be able to lie down on part of the couch, I'd take
on
it.
a couch, play video games, take a nap, whatever it may be.
Drink wine.
Drink wine,
pizza.
get wasted.
Take a shower, do laundry apparently in Cena's.
Yeah, everything.
Yes.
And cook. But before we get further with Brie and Bryan's bus, I wanted to bring that up because Nikki breaks her. Well, Tamina breaks her tooth during a match. So Nikki has no tooth, and she's embarrassed aesthetically of how she looks.
Oh God.
And she does not want to see John for a couple days, and she wants to hide out on the lower grade bus. For
It's
lack of better
so
words.
sad how insecure she is.
Yes.
Does
I
she?
can't
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
even believe. I'm sorry. I just can't believe her boyfriend. You can't show him.
I
what
know.
I don't understand
And
that.
you couldn't even see it.
Yeah.
It was way back in her mouth.
Yeah, it was like way back there.
I don't get it.
Does she actually think that between him seeing the footage from the Monday Night Raw, and I don't know, maybe someone in the back, like the trainer or someone else, I'm sure he knew about it.
Well, for the purpose of this show, he wasn't for a couple of days.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by reality television.
Can you go reenact this scene for us really quick? That's what
Reenact it?
happened. No, I'm saying that's what they say.
Oh, I'm
like,
like-
go.
I'm like-
you go on the bus.
Am I
you tell
kicking someone or am I
John-
being kicked? What's going on?
It's just they have to reenact everything. You know,
I-
it can't be organic.
I was surprised that he wasn't so concerned about why isn't she coming on the bus with me? She's going out with her sister a couple days. And then finally, okay, I'm in the doghouse. Why you were not worried that she wasn't going on the bus with you?
Right? Is there no text or phone call? Where are you? Why aren't you on the bus? Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you alive?
And the one thing that made her decide, okay, I need to figure this out, is because she didn't have sex for 2 days. Oh, Nikki.
That's like rehab for some people.
Apparently for her it is.
Yeah, 2
And
days.
Brie was at it too. She said, you haven't had sex in 2 days. You need to go see him.
Well, she knows her sister.
True.
Yeah, I have a feeling Nikki's a little more sexually
100%.
active or promiscuous than Brie.
Really?
Yeah. That's just my inkling, you know.
Could that have been from last season when we saw like her drawer full of playthings?
Among her cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
among
cheerleaders.
other things. Yes.
Is that what you guys call them? I don't.
I think that's what she called them.
All right.
But yeah, so I was kind of disappointed that Nikki was so absorbed by how she looked because you couldn't even see the tooth. And I wouldn't be able to stand being away from my boyfriend because I had a broken tooth. I would ask him to come to dentist with me or something.
Right? I just thought it was weird. And it just showed how insecure she is. She doesn't want him to be put off by her. And it's just sad, you know, that she's that self-conscious. It's like, geez, you can't even see it.
Yeah.
Like, you really can't.
She had to like lift her.
Yeah. Can't you
she
see
did.
it?
She's like, it's all the way back here.
And then John does, you know, prove us right by saying it's ridiculous.
It's fine. Yeah.
It's fine. I even think you're strong.
I love him more because it shows you're tough. Because in our business, you got a tooth knocked out.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. So
'Cause-
Okay, so wrestling question.
Yes.
That looked really intense. Mm-hmm. What, like, that's just... And, okay, another wrestling... Okay, well, I didn't finish my first. But, so, Nikki was with the other girl wrestling.
Yes.
And then, what's her name?
Tamina?
Comes in and just... How is she allowed in the ring?
Well, the way some matches
When
work.
she wasn't tapped down.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially because that was a tag team match, so it was supposed to be 2-on-2, where you were supposed to.
I think it was a 6-woman.
Was that? I'm sorry, you're right. It
Yes.
was a 6. That one was a 6 diva tag team match, which means 3-on-3. You have to tag someone on your team to go in.
So they can go in.
The old school wrestling rule is technically you can have more than one person in the ring up until the referee's count of 5. And then if that person that is not the legal, in this case, legal woman, did not leave the ring by then they're disqualified. For TV standards, tag team match, 6-person tag team match, 8-person, 10-person, whatever it may be, towards the end of the match, towards like the big finale, they let everyone just go. And like, so craziness happens outside the ring, inside the ring. People try to interfere. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it did for the story by Tamina getting in to kick her in the face. That was obviously a planned spot. Whether Tamina went slightly farther in with her foot than she was supposed to, or Nikki took a step in a little further than she was supposed to. Obviously, it's debatable on which side you want to go with. But the move that Tamina delivered is one of the most common finishing moves in wrestling. Is just a big old kick to the mouth.
Right.
And
But
I mean,
Tamina's
sometimes,
beast.
and Tamina is probably, you can make the case of the strongest female wrestler on the roster.
Look at her.
And she's also the daughter of WWE Hall of Famer Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Which for those of you listening who don't watch wrestling, you're like, who's that? But yeah, so that move, a lot of times, if you time it correctly, the wrestler receiving it will get their left hand just above their chin. Where, and that also helps enhance the slap sound that you get between the wrestler kicking, slapping their leg, and
So it's
the
just
foot
like a
touching
block
the
here.
It's kind of like a block, but the force is supposed to be so strong it still knocks you out.
Right.
Interesting.
Doesn't always happen, and sometimes, in this case, you get a tooth knocked out.
Yeah.
And the Bellas also went back in the ring against Tamina, and AJ was what's the word? Commentating. And they got their retribution, and that was that.
Yeah.
But okay, so before we go into the bus, let's tell all our viewers to go to iTunes and rate, comment, let us know what you think of this after show or any after show that AfterBuzz does. Give us 5 stars.
5 stars.
There you go. The little whisper.
Creepy whisper.
Here at AfterBuzz, we do over, I believe, 60.
We do like between 50
after
to 60
shows.
shows a week.
Ridiculous shows. You can catch Christian, me doing wrestling, other wrestling shows, Charlotte doing reality. You can catch Danielle anywhere, everywhere. She's just started off here.
I also do the voice. I do singing stuff too.
Oh yeah, you do the bus. I saw that.
That's right. Applaud that. Thank you. Thank you.
You got one nice.
Do you have a good
person
voice?
here.
Can I hear it?
I actually play
can we
percussion
not?
and I can beatbox. I can
You
beatbox.
know him better than I do. So.
Off the air, I'll serenade you off the air. Don't you worry.
Can't wait.
Anyway,
All right.
so go to iTunes, go to YouTube, comment. We do keep the conversation going by responding. So thank you so much for that 5-star rating. All right, so the bus. Let's first talk about, there's 2 things going on here. We've got 2 versus modes. We've got Natty and Summer, and we've also got Ariane versus Eva Marie. So let's talk about the slightly lighter one for now, which I think gets a little gruesome towards the season's episodes. So Natty versus Summer Ray. Obviously, Natty is jealous of Summer.
Why?
Because Natty's insecure.
Blondes, yeah.
And she's always been a little insecure and jealous of any newbie.
She was freaking out last season
Last
when
time back,
Tyson was, or TJ was
Yeah.
helping Eva train when Eva was actually trying to do something productive with her career for once. I mean, so she's just very jealous, and I kind of touched on this last week. Natty is at the point where she's been in the WWE. I don't know if she's the longest out of all the current girls, but she's one of the longest. And she's aware that all of a sudden this young up-and-comer who's also blonde, who's a good wrestler, who has a unique character, has been working up the ranks and is now out filming a WWE movie.
But just because Summer Ray's blonde and Natty's a blonde does not make them.
I just feel like
In
Natty always
WWE
feels
standards,
threatened.
it does.
I don't.
Which is sad, but it's true.
What? So Summer Ray is a good wrestler? Because all I've seen is her do twirls.
She's.
Yes, she's actually a solid wrestler, but
I
it's
love
her
that
character.
she said that. I love that
It's
she
her
said
character.
that.
Her character is a dancer.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she kind of goofs around a lot as the character, and she'll just dance instead of wrestle at times. But she's actually a very good wrestler, and one of the best qualities in a good wrestler is making your opponent look good. So how you take certain moves, the way you react to them. And she does a very good job at that.
Well, I can totally understand in some sense why Natty is threatened, because she's a veteran and she's worried that at any day she can be replaced.
Right.
But it still feels a little catty and immature, especially for a veteran to act that way for newbies. She should be a little more supportive. And it's causing a rift, and it might cause a lot of issues in the long run. You don't want to have kinks with people you work with.
Yeah. And but I feel like all of them love to do that.
Especially Natty. Natty always has
the e-cameras are around, so they.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on the bus, and initially Natty really didn't feel comfortable with Summer Ray getting on that bus, and Eva snitched on her about that situation. They're on the bus, and Natty kind of throws Summer Ray under the bus, no pun intended, again. That word is
No, there was puns. There were puns, and they were intended.
There's rumors that she slept with people, her coworker.
And this
is meaning Fandango?
I think.
I don't know, but this is coming from a bus full of divas that are either married or have boyfriends of other people in the same company. So if she's sleeping with, if she's sleeping with one guy, like dating one guy, kind of, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if she's sleeping with several guys, that might be a little different.
There's especially nothing wrong if it's Fandango. Right?
Charlotte's got a thing for Fandango.
Yeah.
Cute.
Really?
Yeah. You guys don't think so?
I think it's like butt him face. Opposite.
Butt him face?
Not the butter face, but the butt him face.
Oh, butt him face.
Oh,
I like that.
I heard that.
I like that.
You know, like
You're
he's got
creative.
a great bot. Thank you. Thank you so much. But Summer doesn't really care that the girls think that this rumor might or might not be true, but she's concerned that TJ, who's a veteran and a dude and is in the male locker room quite often, has heard this before.
Well,
and Daniel Bryan.
And Bryan, yeah.
And Daniel Bryan.
That's the one that alerts her, because Bryan's the main eventer. Bryan's all over the place.
So now she's gonna she's freaking out a little bit, and I think we're probably gonna see that in future episodes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The slap we saw, for instance.
the
yeah.
slap heard
the
around
coming
the
up.
world coming up next week, man.
I know we'll talk about that later,
But this Natty and
excited
Summer
for that.
yeah, me too. This Natty and Summer Ray issue is obviously causing Summer Ray to be close to her buddy Eva Marie.
Gold and red and gold.
Red and
Gold
gold.
Red and gold, yeah. I kind of
Red
like
and
that
gold.
for them. It was kind of cute.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
two newbies and. But
We're split here.
Yeah.
You guys like it? We
not
don't.
So many feelings you're holding inside.
I'm trying to contain them all
Let
at
him
once.
out. Let him out.
No, we don't have enough time.
so Eva Marie's got some issues of her own.
Really?
She's doing really well in the system. She's gotten into Maxim's Hot 100. She's going to Afghanistan. She was one of the chosen.
And she made sure that she let everyone know everything, even when someone else was sharing good news.
Yes.
Oh, I can top that.
How do you get chosen for that?
Creative. If that's the case that they only wanted 2 girls to go,
Right.
they're just like, okay, well, based on current popularity, they might look at numbers, whether or not they actually wanted girls to wrestle at the show or just make appearances. If it's a case of just wanting to make appearances, well, we might want to take the youngest, freshest faces that haven't gone over there yet, because they do this every year.
But didn't they end up choosing more than 2 divas?
I honestly don't remember. Sometimes they do. Sometimes
Tell us in the chat, because I forgot.
I don't know off the top of my head how many people were there for the holiday special this year, or last year, I should say.
But yeah, you're right that Eva Marie was kind of, raining on everyone's parade. Someone had something good to say. She, oh, well, I'm doing this. And it was even better, especially Ariane. Ariane's like,
yeah.
I'm going to be on the cover of Rolling Out magazine.
What the hell is Rolling Out
what is
magazine?
that? I was trying to figure it out.
And it didn't help that it was either Nikki or Brie that was like, Rolling Stones? And she's like, no.
She's like, it's an up-and-coming magazine.
I apologize if any of our listeners work for Rolling Out magazine, but I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
Hey, any magazine's a magazine, right?
True.
And then
I'm on the cover of this week's highlights.
Eva Marie's like, well, I'm in the Hot 100. It's like, oh, okay. So Ariane's getting increasingly frustrated, maybe even jealous of Eva Marie, saying she should not be riding on this high horse of hers, and she has a way of bringing her down. Somehow she got a little obsessive, went through Twitter, and found some old school pictures of Eva Marie in maybe compromising positions and outfits. Who knows?
The ones we saw, I mean, I'm guessing she didn't have clothes on or a top.
That's the way they made it sounded very X-rated. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I looked it up. I couldn't find anything, to my disappointment.
It's not that.
No,
I don't. She was an aspiring model before this. I do know that. So, you know, when you're a young model, you work with photographers, and maybe you made some mistakes along the way. It's a totally common thing. So really, Ariane's just trying to dig up dirt. And I think they were just amateur pictures, honestly. I genuinely think they were young pictures. She was in a bad place. And it's kind of sad. That I will say that was kind of sad, because you never know what she was going through at the time. So.
Back when like season 1 began and Eva Marie was just starting to get known, some people on Twitter sent me like, you know, what I'm guessing were some of these examples of photos. I mean, you know, they're like lingerie or just or like see-through, like nothing crazy. And I found like longtime wrestling fans, I think, found this hilarious. Like I personally did, because there was a female wrestler around the early to mid 2000s in the WWE. Her name was Mickie James, who's considered one of the most talented female wrestlers that WWE's ever had. And years before she got into wrestling, she was doing a lot of I don't want to say porn, because there weren't like videos, but it was like a lot of nude photos. Not like the Playboy type photos. Like these are like okay, that's a little crazy type photos. And obviously WWE knew this, because they check on everyone for everything before they sign them. And it was long and far enough in the past enough where they still signed her, and she went on to have a fantastic career. And I believe that she actually is now pregnant with her first child. But now all of a sudden Ariane is trying to do the same thing to Eva Marie, trying to rat her out. The WWE brass, they know about that stuff.
I don't think she's trying to rat her out. I think she's trying to embarrass her and have her step down. In the very first clip that they have together, Eva Marie's talking about how Ariane's her homegirl, because they both didn't come from WWE, like wrestling, independent wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
And then flip the switch because Eva Marie's doing so well, I guess, and Ariane is feeling kind of, you know, taking the back seat.
I thought it was a bitch move.
I
really
agree.
did.
It was a
really
bitch
didn't
move.
like
It's
it.
like low blow. Like you don't, as much as you don't like someone, as much as you are jealous of someone, like don't try and drop them in it. Like that's so like, and Kama's a bitch.
And
Kama will come back to bite you when you do. And it was mean, but it wasn't. I mean, when I say Kama, I think people do a lot worse things, but I don't know. You just don't do something. You know, it's just.
And
code.
And the story.
Yeah,
any code.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, guys, it's fair game. But girls, no.
But guys don't do stuff like that.
No.
You know?
No. And the whole mugshot story that she could have used, because this was actually really one. I was in shock at the time that Ariane kept her job.
I was too.
Because the story was she literally just debuted. She was just like a couple months into her on-screen debut with Naomi and the wrestler Brodus Clay that they would come out with. And Ariane got pulled over for a DUI, and then tried to bribe the officer not to take her to jail because of who she was and how it will ruin her career. Because of that, she got suspended from WWE for 30 days for violating the wellness policy for getting pulled over with DUI. And then that, though, even though she's off TV, that means Naomi and Brodus Clay are also both off TV, just as they were starting to escalate that push. Because Brodus can't come out without the girls that are supposed to be with him. If he comes out with one of them, then the story's like, well, wait, where's the other one? So it really altered two other people's careers, not just hers. And that's easy pickings if Eva Marie wanted to do that.
Yes.
Wait, but why was it? Why was she falsely accused?
Well, I don't know what the story of her saying that she was found not guilty. I don't know. That I'm just saying pretty much what TMZ and the police report stated.
Okay, I just wondered.
So I mean, I don't know the extent of it. Obviously, she's not fired, so things got resolved in some fashion.
Yeah.
And it sucks that it had to take her partner to have her realize that was
It's like, you're being an
bitch.
idiot.
Yeah,
What do you-
Trinity. She's
Yeah.
like,
And
what
it
are
was
you
sad.
doing?
I actually, for the first time, felt bad for
I
Eva
really
Marie.
felt bad.
Especially when she was saying it was a dark time in her life. She was in her early 20s. We've all been there.
Yes.
Ridiculous, dancing on tables and stuff. But, it's another story.
That last week.
So that's for next week.
So next week.
Talk about our 20s stories.
She was an alcoholic, and for the first time, I felt like, all right, I feel you, Eva, a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit.
and I'm glad she did not forgive. At the same time, I feel like Eva Marie is the type where if you cross her, it's over. Like, there's no turning back. And so I just feel like she kind of put Ariane in her place, where Ariane comes back, oh, it's no big deal, I'm sorry. And Eva Marie's like, no, I don't accept your apology.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. Now all the guys in the back are approaching me about these photos.
Yeah,
She-
showing everyone. That was mean.
But she would be a bigger person if eventually she forgives, because
I think she will.
they work together.
They'll work it
know,
out.
I liked the way that Trinity dealt with it, because when she was talking to Eva Marie, she didn't kind of backstab Ariane and say, yeah, like trash talking her. She dealt with it very maturely.
I love
and
Trinity.
Was just mutual, said, yes, I don't agree with it, but like going past it, not, she's so like, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really getting mean about Ariane.
And
but then she just took her aside, said, look, what you did was wrong.
And well, this also kind of, in my opinion, brought Summer Ray and Eva Marie closer together, because they're having trouble with the veterans. I don't know if Ariane's considered a veteran, not so much.
No,
but
she's not.
So yeah. Anything else to say about this episode, guys? Is there anything I missed? Because there was so much stuff.
I enjoyed this several of the wrestler cameos that aren't normally on this show.
all made because they were interested in Eva's pictures, but.
Yeah, probably. Like Dean Ambrose, for some reason, was in this episode. You saw Paul Heyman hanging out in the back.
Yeah, but he was. There's actually a funny meme where Eva Marie's passing by and Paul Heyman's like, ooh, because he saw the pictures.
Oh, yeah. Looking good, girl. I think
yeah.
he said, looking good, girl. And she's like,
So
I
funny.
thought, did you guys think they were cute?
Who?
The photos?
It was so quick. I don't even know.
True.
it was quick. Like I said, it was just like amateur, maybe portfolio photos from a long time ago. Like working with a photographer, maybe a trade or for free or whatever. But
And she had black hair. She looked different.
yeah, she had dark hair before.
I liked her with dark
I like
hair.
her better with the darker hair.
I
than the
do
red.
too.
Me too. Me too.
I have to say, she looks gorgeous in the confessionals.
Yeah, she
looks
does.
stunning.
You know,
her hair. And
that's-
it's her hair. I like hair.
That's something I have a problem with. Is actually in the beginning of the season, I feel that they are wearing too much makeup in the confessionals, and they look better when they're just on camera.
Yeah, it's very made up. But I think they go into those separately. They film the episodes and then
They talk about what
They have
happened.
a separate time to film
Yeah.
confessionals.
so
They have a
too.
whole hair and makeup team. I mean, I know I follow Eva Marie on Twitter or on Instagram, and she always has a full hair and makeup team styling her all the time for these shoots. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I think she looks good.
yeah, she looks good.
Voluptuous hair.
I think less is more to some extent. And I just feel like in the
I agree.
confessional, there was a little too much for all of them.
They're divas. What do you expect?
That's the response right there. They're total divas.
But they're wrestlers too. They don't need all that makeup. They've got the talent and they've got the natural beauty. I'm just saying,
I think the show brings out the diva-ness in them.
Yeah.
The hair, the makeup.
Oddly enough, and I don't know if this has anything really to do with this, but WWE actually just issued a new rule as far as, because obviously all the wrestlers, especially the divas, they all tend to have makeup and stuff when they go out on shows. WWE has actually, I think it was last week, has officially outlawed the use of baby oil.
why?
I don't know, but now no men or women can use baby oil to like
I wonder.
make their bodies glisten.
Yeah, glisten,
to-
look more ripped.
I
Yeah.
wonder what
Whatever, yeah.
happened to make that rule happen.
I don't know.
Don't you like slip when
Yeah,
you
you
have
would
oil
slip.
on and-
That makes
It
sense,
might slip or
actually.
probably leaves like marks on the canvas in the ring.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I guess that would make sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, guys, you want to move over to news and gossip?
Sure. I guess that was kind of news, but
That is.
and I jumped the gun. My bad.
You guys probably know the wedding is set for April 11th for Brie and Bryan. So hard for me to say his name. I'm like, Bryan. Which is actually very soon.
Yeah. Where is it? Did they say?
I don't know. I just wrote April 11th wedding.
It's got to be on Monday Night Raw. No.
It's got to be somewhere hippie.
I think they're from Arizona, or the Bella Twins are from Arizona, so I wonder if it'll be there.
That I don't know.
Aren't the Bella Twins from San Diego?
They live in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were from Arizona.
Okay.
I think they're from Arizona. I think
Okay,
you're right,
got
but
it.
they live, or at least Nikki's mom lives in San Diego.
I imagine it being a Lord of the Rings kind of wedding.
Oh God!
I don't know why.
They are total hippies.
Brian comes down the aisle riding a horse.
Don't tell me you
I
can't
see this
that.
all now.
Yeah, it's gonna be something interesting. Well, just be what they were picking as wedding gifts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
That store.
Yeah.
That was the most bizarre
Nikki
story
was
I've
like,
ever seen in my
"What?"
life.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'm like that. This can't be real. This can't exist in real life.
Yeah,
No.
if I was invited to their wedding, I'm just giving them cash.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try to figure what these things are.
So this is kind of interlapping with WWE itself, but apparently, so Bray Wyatt, he's one of the wrestlers. He's going to go up against John Cena at WrestleMania, and apparently Bray made a comment that caused the rest of the roster backstage to pop big. He mentioned something about Nikki undergoing surgery not that long ago that changed a specific feature of hers, and now she's unable to pull twin magic with her sister.
Yeah, the comment regarding, because they're setting up Bray Wyatt versus John Cena at WrestleMania, and this past Monday Raw, Bray Wyatt, and he's a very dark, like cult, like leader character, and he made some comment about how like John and his plastic girlfriend are going to like ride into the
So
sunset.
it's all in good fun, but
Yeah, I mean
he
it's
just-
all part of like his character promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he would just apologize to John Cena, even though it's kosher. And Nikki, he apologized to Nikki as well. That was kind of fun and funny because it's true. She can't do twin magic anymore because she has exponentially larger boobies than her sister now.
Didn't she already have large boobs?
She's had him for a while now.
She's had.
Oh,
she's,
okay.
She's had Brie boobies until she had.
Until like maybe
Oh, okay.
a couple years ago.
Yeah. Before it was
But
really
always
hard.
on the show.
Always on the
She's
show,
always,
yes.
Okay.
Always on
Yes.
the show, yes.
It was always hard to tell them apart until
I agree.
that happened.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, and the final one, this is probably pretty obvious, but this is the best I could find, was that we're going to see a lot of issues with Summer Ray and Natty. At one point, Natty says, let's put it this way, Summer Ray's a beautiful girl, beautiful hair, beautiful legs, but for me, it stops at that. She decides to show up to my house unannounced, and it's a long story, but I don't really put up with any nonsense from her. So she's going to show up at her house unannounced.
Is that what we see next week? We
I
see a
don't
little
know.
preview.
I
don't know.
I see a slap.
I don't know if I buy it.
It's a little rough.
By what?
That
If
it's
it's
a real
legit hatred.
scenario.
Oh.
That's a real scenario. Or I could see them having to film something and it wasn't actually really their conflict. They were filming something for a show or for. Couldn't you see that happening with editing? How they
course.
splice things together?
And by the end of the season, they're going to get some mutual respect over something
Yes.
and start getting along.
Or not.
Or not.
Be more interesting if they don't.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that completes news and gossip. Let's move on to predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm predicting makeout sessions, arguments, people making up, and tears.
You just took over the whole predictions right there.
Wow.
I mean, thank you,
Because
Rosie.
that never happens on reality shows. What
no,
I just said.
never.
What
Definitely
about
not.
sex?
Well, I said making out.
Yeah.
We're not
guess
going to
that
see
covers
it.
it.
Oof,
Implied.
see, I wouldn't
hope
want to
not.
see that. Well, do you,
We saw a little of John Cena and Nikki
where?
at the very start when they kissed.
That's not sex. That's kiss.
Oh, I was going
yeah.
in the make out.
But they make out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the cameras cut off and they had sex on the San Diego pier.
Or on the
That's-
bed with the mirror.
That Cena somehow paid to have no one else on.
He paid for a cloud to hold a mirror and bring it down. He's that rich. It could happen.
Oh, that was good. I think my prediction, I'm going to go with that. I don't think the Natty and Summer Ray fight is real. That's all I'm going to say. Let's wait till next week.
That's-
I like it.
That's possible. Yeah, I kind of believe you, or I don't know yet. Who knows? But
I want to see them fight. And I guess we see a good slap, so I'm excited to see how Nikki reacts.
I'm curious to see if they do really fight, how they fight outside of the ring.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like what it looks like when they're really having a woman fight and not a choreographed fight.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And I predict that Nikki is not going to get a ring from John Cena.
Yes.
So she's going to eventually have more issues with him.
I agree.
Definitely.
Solid.
All right. That about wraps up our after show for this week. Tune in next week for the next after show for episode 3. We're going to talk about that bitch slap and more. In the meantime, guys.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm holding the table. All right. Where can we find other ones?
You can find me on Twitter at CRosieVOC, and you could check me out here doing the AfterBuzz for The Voice later on tonight on Monday, as well as I host Friday Night SmackDown AfterBuzz.
You can find me at Charlotte Broadbent on Twitter and at Charlotte Broadbent_ on Instagram.
And you can find me at Danielle Elise P on Twitter and at Danielle Pascente on Instagram.
And you can find me at KAORIOUS, Kaorius on Instagram as well as Twitter. And for everybody here, you can follow us on AfterBuzz TV. And we will catch you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.